to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
A special election to legalize recreational marijuana is happening tomorrow. What both sides have to say, a rally at the Capitol to limit firearm use for domestic violence offenders, what you need to know, and a drop in temperature with rain on the way. We have the details. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Amaya Ward.
And I'm Stone Weber. Our top story, Oklahomans are getting ready to head to the polls to determine the fate of legalizing recreational marijuana in the Sooner State. If passed, weed would be legal to people 21 and over with some exceptions. OU Nightly's Olivia Daig is live in the newsroom to break down the campaign for both sides in the final hours.
That's right, Amaya and Stone. I spoke to both sides of the issue. Those in favor for SQ 820 hope for criminal justice reform, as well as bringing in more money for the state. Those who opposed are worried about how this will impact child safety. In 2018, Oklahoma legalized medicinal marijuana. Now, a new push to legalize it recreationally. Those in favor hope it will support criminal justice reform.
Once we decriminalize basic cannabis possession and use, then that's going to free up all the time of the prosecutors, all the police resources that are used to dedicate to this crime that's not a crime anymore.
They also say that this bill would raise money for the state, especially with people in neighboring states coming to Oklahoma to buy.
The out-of-state money will help, generate the tax monies that we're looking at achieving through this process. So.
If passed, the state question would raise taxes on weed to 15%. That money would go to a few different places. Some of the biggest areas include public education and rehab programs. However, those on the other side of the issue are skeptical about these benefits the state question would bring.
It's an empty promise.
Those who say vote no believe that increasing access would make marijuana fall more easily into the hands of kids and teens.
You're going to make marijuana more available, especially for our most vulnerable population, which is our young people. We're basically giving our society an opportunity to be dumbed down through a product that is now more addictive than ever.
If SQ 820 passes, no new dispensaries will be allowed for 2 years, but existing ones can still sell to anyone over 21, regardless if they have an Oklahoma ID or not. Voting starts tomorrow at 7 a.m. and the polls close at 7 p.m. Live in the newsroom, Olivia Daig, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Olivia. The Oklahoma State Election Board says more than 30,000 people voted early. More than 20,000 Republicans and 1,100 Democrats casted their ballots ahead of tomorrow's Election Day. And in Cleveland County alone, more than 3,000 people voted early.
A group of moms rallied at the state capitol today, part of their mission to improve gun safety in Oklahoma. OU Nightly's Brooklyn Sweet was there and brings us the details.
Advocates with Moms Demand Action are concerned about some of the bills in session right now, so they took their concerns straight to lawmakers here at the Capitol.
Moms Demand Action is advocating to get House Bill 1762 passed, which is currently the only bill pushing for gun safety still active. If passed, the bill would make it a felony to carry a firearm if already charged with domestic violence.
I have letters from people in my area to give to our legislators saying support this bill. This is a good bill.
We can't have options if we don't have options.
While it seems like it is completely futile, we are actually creating dialogue.
While their focus today was to talk to legislators about taking guns away from domestic abusers, advocates say
it's the first step.
They also hope for better security in schools across the state. MDA says their mission is not to take away guns, but improve gun safety in Oklahoma. Reporting from the Capitol, Brooklyn Sweet, OU Nightly.
Moms Demand Action is a nationwide group that holds rallies across the country. They meet weekly by Zoom here in Oklahoma.
OU's Board of Regents are expected to discuss the demolition of the Adams Center dorm in its meeting scheduled tomorrow. The board will also talk about upgrades to other dorms, which will happen in phases. Phase 1 is intended to provide enough beds to replace Walker Center. It will be built in 2 parts, the first building being completed in summer of 2025 and the second building in summer of 2026. Phase 1 is currently estimated to cost $195 million.
Temperatures sure have improved over the week, but I'm not going to get my hopes up.
Let's pass it over to OU Nightly meteorologist Andrew Messersmith. Andrew, what can we expect this weekend?
Well, as we wrap up what has been a beautiful Monday here in the Sooner State, we're seeing temperatures still in the upper 60s here in Norman, with our friends down in Ardmore just getting down from 80 degrees a few minutes ago. Hard to believe for February. But as we go throughout the week, we are going to see those rain chances increase as we head overnight tomorrow night, and those temperatures are going to decrease down into the 40s. So later on, we're going to talk about the rainy week that we're going to see ahead, our high pollen count, and the colder temperatures we're going to see. So stick around.
Thanks, Andrew. Today, the city of Norman is cleaning up what was left behind from last week's EF2 tornado. OU Nightly's Parker Abels joins us live this evening with how the Public Works Department is fronting the effort. Parker?
Stone, Amaya, they haven't quite made it here to Pickard and Madison yet, as you can see by the mess behind me, but there is a plan to pick it all up within the next 4 to 6 weeks.
The Public Works Department manages the debris program. We've done it about 11 times in the last 15 years. We're pretty good at this.
The mayor declared a disaster emergency, making the city's emergency operation plan active. Now the Public Works Department is stepping in, picking up the trash.
Removal or debris collection is really important to our residents. They have other things to worry about, lots of things that they're dealing with, unfortunately, and having to figure out how and where to haul their debris is just one less thing for them to do. So we're happy to do that.
For the next month, residents will see 5 different trucks driving through, securing the debris.
We started the program this morning at 7 a.m. We will work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. We will take Sundays off at this point. We think it'll take 4 to 6 weeks to cover the area that was impacted.
And the city told me they want all the debris on the curb like you see here, and they want nothing in or under it, like maybe a gas pipe or a big metal pole. The city would not be able to pick up this pile because the pole would be in the way, but what they do want is all appliances like a refrigerator or a dishwasher in a separate pile, and then the sticks all in another pile like you can see here, nothing in or under it. The claw would have no problem picking that up. Reporting live from Norman, Parker Abels, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Parker. Investigators are looking into what caused another Norfolk Trail derailment in Ohio. Becca Gonzalez is in the news center with this story and much more.
That's right, Amaya. 28 cars on the train derailed just 1 month after another train derailed in East Palestine. Investigators say the crash temporarily prompted a shelter-in-place order before the all-clear was given.
There was no release of any chemical or any hazardous material to the soil, to the air, to the water.
And police say 4 Americans are still missing after they were kidnapped by a Mexican cartel. Investigators believe it's a case of mistaken identity. They say the victims were thought to be drug smugglers by a Mexican cartel.
These sorts of attacks are unacceptable. Our thoughts are with the families of these individuals, and we stand ready to provide all appropriate consular assistance.
People in Atlanta are facing domestic terrorism charges after a violent protest. Police say dozens were arrested during a protest at the site of a planned police training facility. APD says cars were torched during the unrest, and some protesters even threw fireworks at officers. And finally, TikTok CEO says apps have no ties to China. The comments come just 2 weeks before he testifies before Congress over the app's security concerns. Amaya, Stone.
Thank you, Becca. Coming up, a new bill moves to the State House. Find out the new opportunities some students can gain access to.
And America's credit rating could change. Find out more when we come back.
Evening tornadoes tear through Oklahoma.
We have a tornado warning for Cleveland County.
The OU Nightly weather team was there before.
45 minutes away or less from these storms getting into campus.
During.
Plenty of people who, are living off campus. This storm is headed to you.
And after.
Again, sending news crews out to assess damage.
Always keeping the University of Oklahoma in focus.
Campus in the clear right now.
OU Nightly weather, your campus weather authority.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Every few years, Washington, D.C. decides whether to raise the debt ceiling or default on U.S. debt. OU Nightly's Morgan Martin joins us with this story and more in today's Money Matters.
A leading financial company says America's credit rating could soon change. Fitch Ratings says the debate on whether to raise the debt ceiling or default may spark a downgrade. And while the U.S. currently has perfect credit, the score is not based on the nation's finances. It's based on the reactions of the global finance market to the debt ceiling debate. Formally banned but happening at the state capitol, Senator Kristen Thompson is working to restore financial aid for incarcerated students. Senate Bill 11 would allow students access to apply for tuition grants. 2 Oklahoma colleges currently offer degree programs for prisoners. The bill passes through the Senate, now waiting to be read by the House. And Cleveland County leaders are making a plan for $3.5 million in federal funding. The money comes from the American Rescue Plan Act and will be used on improvements to drinking water in the county's 1st district. That plan includes putting in new groundwater wells and the installation of a portable generator. And that's just phase 1. Phase 2 will work to improve operations in smaller, more rural communities. Amaya Stone.
Thanks, Morgan. OU Health Services is getting students ready for their spring vacation, but you'll need to pack before some spring break fun.
But first, our meteorologist Andrew Messersmith joins us as the seasons are changing again. Andrew?
That's right, Stone. We are going from a warmer winter to a cooler spring. We've got flooding potential this week, so don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about it all.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Evening tornadoes tear through Oklahoma.
We have a tornado warning for Cleveland County.
The OU Nightly weather team was there before.
45 minutes away or less from these storms getting into campus.
During.
Plenty of people who, are living off campus. This storm is headed to you.
And after.
Again, sending news crews out to assess damage.
Always keeping the University of Oklahoma in focus.
Campus in the clear right now.
OU Nightly weather with Campus Weather Authority.
Welcome back. We are going to start out by looking at our allergy report. I know I had to go make my first run to the pharmacy to grab this year's allergy medicine a couple days ago, and we're looking at that high volume of tree pollen. Everything else still low for the time being, and the rain this week should hopefully help lessen that. But here's the current picture. Here's this front that's set up right across the state here today, and that has pushed south of Norman over the afternoon, bringing us those cooler temperatures tonight. But over the next 2 days, we're going to have a marginal minor severe weather. This is a level 1 out of 5 severe risk. This is for hail. We're not expecting anything large, but could see some hailstones out there. The bigger threat Tuesday evening is going to be the flooding risk. So we are in a moderate risk for flooding. And then Wednesday as well, we're going to kind of see this line of showers set up here, also bringing with it a small hail potential. And once again, Wednesday, we're going to see that moderate flooding risk and even high as you head out into southeastern Oklahoma. So let's time this out for you. Here is Tuesday, 10 p.m. Those showers and thunderstorms have already started to set up across the state. And by the time we go throughout the night Wednesday, you can see those multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms going through the state, bringing with it quite a bit of rainfall. So how much rainfall? Well, it could flood campus. And as you know, anyone who's been here a couple years have seen those intersections, Timberdale, Jenkins. And the key thing is turn around, don't drown. We always say this, but we really mean it. Anytime there's flooding here on campus, there's at least a couple cars that go through water. So just don't try it. It's not worth it. 6 inches of water is enough to sweep a person away. 12 inches is to sweep a car away. That is really not a lot, especially in those poor drainage areas. Now, we do also want to talk about the difference between a watch and a warning. So a flash flood watch, this is going to be an all-day kind of thing. Rain off and on, it could flood, the conditions are right. And then as we issue those flash flood warnings, this means those conditions are occurring in your area and you need to take action and be careful if you're out on the roadways. So here is the rainfall forecast for pretty much the entire event. We could see up to 2 inches in Norman. The Weather Service is calling for 2 to 3 inches. And even farther south in southeastern Oklahoma, these models are going to change over time, but the big picture is we're going to see 1.5 inches to 3 inches of rain for Oklahoma. Now, for the rest of your 7-day, we're looking at those slightly cooler temperatures, especially overnight, mid-40s into the 50s for your weekend. And then as we go throughout the rest of your weekend, it's going to start to warm back up into the 60s. Stone, Amaya?
Thank you. Before spring break can start, OU Student Congress and Health Services is teaming up warning students. They say germs do not go in break, so be safe. The groups encourage students to bring sunscreen, hand sanitizer, water, and contraceptives. And with March Madness here, the Oklahoma basketball squads are looking to start their postseason runs strong.
Pierce Levelholtz has that, and a former Sooner star's hometown rolls out the red carpet.
That's right, Stone and Amaya. A former Sooner gets a warm hometown welcome and a great honor. And OU women's gymnastics continues a run at perfection. Sports is next.
Prepared as your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hello, I'm Pierce Lefewoltz, and it's time for sports. Since starting at OU, Chiefs center Creed Humphrey recently won Super Bowl 57 and even appeared on Saturday Night Live. Over the weekend, his hometown continued the celebration. OU Nightly's Dakota McDowell-Wapakichi was there and has more.
Creed Humphrey and the city of Shawnee are celebrating the Kansas City Chief and Sooner alum after winning Super Bowl 57.
Do hereby proclaim this 4th day of March 2023 to be Creed Humphrey Day.
And that's how Super Bowl champion Creed Humphrey was awarded his own day in his hometown. The town brought out the kids, fans, and the high school band to welcome their champ home.
My hometown honored me like this. It's truly a blessing. Something I dreamed about, as a little kid, just being able to go out there, play first and foremost in that stadium in the high school, then playing at OU was obviously a dream of mine too, and then making it to the NFL, winning the Super Bowl and all this. I mean, it's a dream come true, and I'm still letting it set in, and it's been, over 2 weeks now, so it's been awesome.
Humphrey graduated from Shawnee High School in 2017 and is a tribal citizen of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. He said he hopes this achievement in his life can create a positive impact on the students with Shawnee across their chest.
I'm hoping I can be someone that they can look up to and, kind of see if they can follow in my footsteps too. So it's a blessing to be where I am right now.
And at the end of the event, he led them with one more chant.
1, 2, 3.
Now, Creed is the only Sooner who won this year's Super Bowl. He's joined alongside Orlando Brown, Blake Bell, and James Winchester. In Shawnee, Dakota McDowell-Wapakichi, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Dakota. The number 16 Oklahoma women's basketball team took on Oklahoma State for a rivalry sweep and a possible Big 12 title. The Sooners take down the Cowgirls 80-71, fueled by a team-high 15 points from Taylor Robertson and a walk home with a share of the Big 12 regular season title with Texas. Oklahoma heads into the Big 12 tournament as the number 2 seed. Oklahoma men's basketball finished the year on a high note with an upset 74-60 win over the 22nd ranked TCU Horned Frogs. Tanner Groves showed out on his senior night with a 23-point double-double. The Sooners have a Bedlam matchup in their first round of the Big 12 tournament starting on Wednesday. And the number 1 OU women's gymnastics team took on number 2 Florida in a rematch of last year's NCAA championship. The Sooners took down the Gators by 1/4 of a point, backed by Olivia Troutman's perfect 10 on vault. Oklahoma is currently facing the new number 2 Michigan in Ann Arbor on ESPNU. Stone, Amaya, back to you.
Yeah, Amaya, Pierce just touched on it. This is an absolute gauntlet of a schedule for this team. Number 2 Florida on Friday, now the new number 2 Michigan. This is a very hard schedule, but a great test heading into NCAA regionals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Olivia Troutman and the rest of her team have been absolutely on fire. That game on Friday, it was the second largest crowd that OU history has had. Talk about impressive, right?
KJ Kindler has the fan base behind these girls poised for another national championship. And when we return, a gender reveal party you don't want to miss.
And a breakthrough in technology at the center of it all, coming up next on OU Nightly.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
I'm Emery Johnson at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Oklahoma Corporation Commission is asking the Oklahoma Attorney General to investigate possible natural gas market manipulation. They're looking at the February 2021 storm. This happened right after the Kansas AG sued an energy company for the same storm. Amaya Stone.
A Kansas zoo recently welcomed a new addition, an endangered Indian rhino. Marjan is the first ever natural birth rhino with a mom born from artificial insemination.
But as big of a deal as its birth was, Friday was another big day. Marjan's gender reveal party. For the mama, Monica opened a box which revealed it's a boy.
That's so exciting, Stone. Well, with rainfall coming in, let's get one last look at our forecast for the week. Andrew.
All right, well, if you're headed out this evening, we are looking at just about a perfect evening. Light winds, temperatures staying in the low 60s to upper 50s by 9 p.m. And then once again, a look at our 7-day. We're looking at those strong rain chances Tuesday through Thursday. Don't forget your umbrella if you're headed out to school or work. And then through the weekend, we're going to see those temperatures stay cool behind that front before they start to warm up again mid next week.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to OU Nightly. I'm Amaya Ward.
And I'm Stone Weber. Watch OU Nightly weekdays at 4:30 and Fridays at 4 p.m. Good night.
Prepared as your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.